Welcome to another EverSky Developer Diary. This week we've been working on a few things, and the first one I want to show you is the rendering pipeline. So I was looking at switching out the rendering pipeline. Right now we're using what's called a forward renderer, so basically it just renders everything as it sees it. But I wanted to try out some new ideas for rendering, and one of the things about the current setup is that you can play with different pipelines. So what you'll see in the background is the contrast between a normal forward pipeline and a thing called high dynamic range. And high dynamic range basically just allows you to capture more of the space between light and dark, and that helps for making things have depth in lighting. So what we're really seeing is that for now the effect is that basically you get a lot of bloom. So you'll have seen that in quite a few games where you get like a bloom effect for things and things like tone mapping. So the HDR pipeline is really kind of just an experiment right now. I probably will switch back to the forward rendering. But you can see that it does add it adds an interesting effect to the world, and I want the world to feel kind of surreal. So that's really where I'm heading, is to try and find a nice balance between lighting and like sort of post-processing kind of stuff. So we're playing with those kind of things over over the course of development, really. So the second part of what we're working on is the sector system. So the world of EverSky is broken up into a grid of sectors in terms of the world map, and each sector is denoted by two sets of 4 letters. So basically it's kind of like an X and Y coordinate, or a latitude and longitude. And what this means is that each sector is 10 kilometers cubed. So you can imagine that this potential space, if you do a quick calculation, the potential sort of discoverable space is pretty much, well, put it this way, it's impossible to ever discover it in anybody's lifetime. But what that means is that the reason why you're using these two sets of 4 letters is that it's easier to remember when you're going to talk about a particular place that you've discovered. So obviously some different combinations of letters suggest different types of places, and that's kind of one of the fun things that I want to play with design wise. And of course you can imagine that discovering certain places they should feel a certain way, right? The words tell you what you should feel like, but also it means that you can try and figure out somewhere that you'd want to go and see if it works, see if it has that kind of feel. So one of the things that we'll be doing early on is with the first sort of what I call pathfinders, the first alpha testers, is figuring out which cell in the world we're going to start with, which sector we're going to start off at. So that'll be a competition sometime later. So hopefully you can see that with this sector system, basically it's the world editor saves each sector independently, and you can edit sectors and those kind of things. But you can see that the world map, it's big and it's there to be discovered, and that's kind of this exploration thing is one of the key drivers of the game. But the other fun thing is that you can actually name the sectors. So as you discover them, if you discover an undiscovered sector, you get to give it a name. And the idea is that everybody will then see that name. So the name goes up to a central server. Everybody who passes into that sector, if it has been discovered by you, will get to see what the name is. So there's a good reason to explore, because you get to name things. A bit like Magellan or Captain Cook or whatever. They get to name things after them because they're the first discoverers. So obviously the Pathfinders will play a big part there. Anyway, so that's what's been going on this week. If you want to get in touch with us, obviously ZimmerPup on Twitter. You can follow the mindflock.com website or follow the YouTube channel ZimmerPup. And hope to hear from you. Post a comment, or just get in touch in general. And thank you for watching.